leadership qualities. I think the first thing in a change management sort of process, as leaders, you have to be humble. That's the first quality I would consider. Humility. A lot of the time during a change process, like in GardaWorld, KK, we acquired quite a number of businesses across Africa. There's a tendency of leaders believing, which might be a false belief, that they know it all. Yeah? That you've got all the answers. And so how you deal with that change process is that you go into these sessions, activities, plans, strategies, with that mentality that you know it all. And so at GardaWorld, we have moved from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. Leaders need to know when to lead from the front and when to lead from the back. You don't have to sit in every boardroom and speak for 40 minutes and then ask at the end, anybody with a question? It doesn't have to be that way. The second quality that has been touched on today is agility. And this is the speed at which leaders understand and adopt to the change. It's one thing to talk about big names, agility. It's another to actually practice it. Again, in some of the sessions, when we were thinking about the rebrand and what the impact will be, and the reason why we rebranded the Kenya business last is because KK started in Kenya in around 1970. So it's an old business. And we had a challenge which we call a founder's mentality. Because it was started off by an individual right from the Iraq War. He was a Marine, he came into Kenya, settled in Kenya, started a business which thrived and succeeded, and he had hired and set up proper structures. So we acquired a business that had a lot of founders' mentality. And our model as Garda was what we called an owner-operator mindset, where the staff would feel part of the business. It's like equity, shareholding, long-term investments, etc. So how do you make the staff believe that this new company that has come in and acquired the entity that has existed for 40 plus years is not going to wipe them off, is going to take their views into consideration. And so transitioning from the founder's mindset to an owner-operator model meant that we needed to do a few things. Someone mentioned around looking at the benefit structure, for example. And so we set up the long-term incentive plan for senior leadership. We allocated shares to some senior leaders in the business, etc., etc. And remember, GardaWorld is a private entity. So again, convincing investors that they needed to cede part of the shareholding to employees was also not very easy, but we managed to do it. I think the other behavior that I would talk about is listening deeply. There's listening and there's listening deeply. Like you need to sort of, medical doctors, that thing that they put in the heart when the stethoscope, yes, that term. You've got to get to a level of listening where you're not just listening to react. It's actually to listen to understand. Because you're in a business, you've acquired a business in multiple countries that have different cultures, different issues. In Malawi, you're dealing with Malawians. And there's a way that Malawians operate, which is not the same as Ugandans or Kenyans. So you have them to have another level of listening, which is so deep as a leader that you really need to understand and comprehend the pulse of the organization. And so I think those are some of the qualities that I would say. And sorry, finally, there's a level of innovation within a business where you, again, allow the staff to come up with solutions which are local and contextualized. So as a leader, then you also have to have that skill that allows for innovation, and we call it fearless innovation. And back to my analogy of an eagle, where you allow people to be what they need to be and try it out. When they fail, then you go back to the drawing board. And collaboration. Again, we have this discussion in our business. You know, I'm sure most of us see the pull and push between sales and marketing and finance. Sales and marketing want to go out and spend, right? Finance on the other end are saying, guys, we don't have money to waste. And there's a very thin line between that healthy competition between functions and that combative approach where a salesperson will be saying, these finance guys don't understand what we want to do, we're trying to sell this new business, vis-a-vis that healthy competition and space. So I would say those are the qualities that we have ingrained in our leadership, and I'm happy to be here today because working with Strathmore, Shadrach and team, we've been able to train close to 50 of our leaders. I think we're in the second or third cohort this year. Just last week we had about 3 of our guys from the region in an operational excellence program here, and we'll continue doing that to build those leadership qualities. Thank you.